We trying to wait to go on air on our radio station. We ain't got the right music playing, but that's all right. We're on air. Hey, welcome back for another great show. Y'all want to like this show tonight. We got some surprise guests that's going to come on the show. And I know Miss Mina, that diva, been riling everybody up before this show. I've been following her page. But this show will be brought to you by Be Live, Station Head, Facebook, and Instagram. But I am Zeke, the 5-foot freak, with my co-host.
Miss Mina, that diva.
And would you like to? Oh, we'll come back with the title of the show.
Yeah, what's your Zeke Speaks tonight?
Well, we're gonna start off tonight with my Zeke Speaks, and I think y'all gonna like this. Hey, I really like this guy. I don't know if y'all remember this quote, but he say, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man." You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Who is that?
Who is it?
Mr. Jay-Z.
Himself.
Hey, Jay-Z is doing it again. He's teamed up with this cannabis company. I know a lot of the artists are doing that now. Also, your rappers are doing it as well. But he's joined up with Khalifa. I think that's what they call it. It's called Khalifa. And the reason why he started this company, because he want to be able to give ex-cons an opportunity to have a job and to be able to profit and make money. Now, the only question I have with that is, can ex-cons be around marijuana?
I mean, they can be around whatever if you know.
But I thought if you was a felon, you can't be around guns, drugs, in certain states. He said he's going to make sure this is legal in certain states. I guess that's the catch. So I guess in certain states, if marijuana is legal, would that rule still apply to the felons or the convicts?
It depends on the business, because you have some businesses that won't hire felons or whatever at all, right?
Right.
And then you have some businesses that get tax write-off and credits for hiring felons. So it just depends on the business.
Okay, and one of the things he said is he's using his platform to amend the systematic racism that marijuana has brought to blacks and brown communities. So I'm pretty sure you're talking about the blacks, the Mexicans, and stuff like that. By employing ex-prisoners, it would allow these men and women, it's for women too, he's not just catering to the men, financially benefits from weed legalization, just like they are for the white folks, which I really like. And he said he want to create something amazing, have fun in the process, do good, and bring people along the way. That's what Jay has said. With discrimination, with discriminizing of marijuana growing within the country and eventually legalizing it in more states, this move seems to be no-brainer. Hey, I like this. This guy continue to make money. He is the first billionaire rapper to hit the billionaire mark. My guy, Dr. Dre, came close, but when they did his, I guess when they do the percentage with the tax, he fell below that billionaire mark. But hey, he's still rich. He ain't complaining about anything, and he still had to give his wife, what, she wanted $1 million a week?
I don't know what that crazy is. I mean, I don't know what she wanted, but you wasn't worth it.
Well,
nobody's worth that.
She's not getting that $1 million a week. But with all that being said, man, happy birthday to all our November babies, our October babies. We've been trying to tell y'all happy birthday on our social media platforms, and we miss you. Don't charge it to our heart, charge it to our head. And if you got anything you want to throw in before we go on break and come back with this amazing show that we have for y'all about.
So I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to on IG. I just saw this during Halloween and it kind of didn't sit well with me. So Lil Nas X dressed up as Nicki Minaj, and the dude had the fake breasts, the everything. Okay, and what kills me is that, I love all people. I'm not against anything. We have freedom of choice, free will, do whatever the hell you want, okay? But what I'm not checking for is when we're heterosexual people and we see things like that and we're opposing to it, how that community attacks heterosexual people for not being okay with it. And we're going to do this topic on another show. We're not going to dive into it too deep tonight, but I just want to say heterosexual people are allowed to be heterosexual without being convicted as homophobic. Okay, I can love you and not accept your choices. Okay, I don't have to hate you. I don't have to want to kill you or want you to die or want someone to hurt you. But baby, everything you do, I'm not going to agree with. And we live in a society where everybody seems like, they make it like everybody has to be accepted. And no, everything you do is not going to be accepted. Everything you do, everybody's not going to like. So I need you guys to get out of your feelings and understand that as heterosexual people, when we see things that we're not accepting of, we also have the right to say it's not okay with us. Just like you guys, you don't like to be condemned and you don't like for people to put you down for your beliefs and what you choose to do. And you don't want us to, you don't want others to condemn you. So you can't condemn us. It's a two-way street. It's not one-sided. But we'll go into that on another show. I just wanted to bring that up, see if anybody had any feelings about that, and we can talk about it.
Well, looks like
Did you see it?
I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to look it up because that may be the next show. So
OMG.
Hey, but again, we'll be back. We have a great show for y'all tonight. Hey, sorry about the delay. I had messed up on the time, and I was rushing to get into the living room studio when I was already ahead of time. So I apologize for that, but we're going to make it up to y'all with this show. We'll be back. Stay tuned. And hey, enjoy our little segment that we have for you all tonight. I am Zeke the 5 Foot Freak with my co-host,
Miss Mina that diva.
and we'll be back.
We'll be right back.
You are married to an African American woman.
Yes, I'm married to an African American woman. I remember distinctly a conversation I had with my father when I was in elementary school, where I went up to him one day. Of course, I didn't understand everything that has to deal with racism or race relations at that point in my life, but I did realize that I was attracted to, in more than a social way, women of all ethnicities. And I remember distinctly going to my father and saying, "Dad, would you mind if I did marry a black woman one day?" And his response to me was, "As long as she looks good, I don't care what color she is."
If you ask me if it was like a conscious choice to pick a darker skinned woman versus like a lighter skinned woman, for me, not really. It wasn't an effort to go find the deepest, darkest chocolate sister out there and get the full-on, for real deal, straight from the motherland. And I didn't think that that defined blackness to me. You're not more ethnic if you're darker. It's just, that's happened to be who Joni was. But when you look at her, there was nothing about that color of her skin that defined her. You're not more ethnic if you're darker. It's just, that's happened to be who Joni was. But when you look at her, there was nothing about that color of her skin that defined her.
All right, we back. And I am Zeke, the 5-foot freak, with my co-host,
Miss Mina, that diva.
Well, before we start the show, I've been trying to get our guest to come on. Been having some issues with that. But I'm going to let Miss Mina, that diva, go ahead and jump into what the title of our show is, and then we'll go from there.
Black men preferring other races of women over black women. Black women. Let me say that again because I kind of got tongue-tied, okay? Black men preferring other races of women over black women. It's becoming more popular, and why? Why is that? I asked the question earlier today. I was like, is it that black girls don't shut the hell up? But we do shut up though. But we got some stuff to say too. We be quiet, but then you ain't looking, we talking again.
I don't think black men is preferring white women over.
Not just white women.
Well, foreign women, Italians,
all different
Mexican Americans and stuff like that. I think, in my opinion, some of them that probably go that route already like that from the beginning. It wasn't like they was with a black woman and I don't like what the black woman doing. And I went to the numerous different races of women. That's hey, fellas, y'all gonna have to. That's all I can do, man. I can't defend you even more. We do have our guest we're gonna end up bringing on and let him tell about his experiences. But so you feel like the black man is just saying forget the black women?
I'm not saying that they forgetting the black women. I'm just saying like for a black woman that wants a black man, we already have like so much against us in regards to having a black man. Not only are we in competition with other black women, but now the black man is the most sought after man on the planet. Like across the board, if you ask every single race, hey, would you date a black man? That Asian women, Mexican women, Latino, they're the same thing. Puerto Rican, they're the same thing. But white women across the board, they're like, yes, we want the black man, right? You go across the board and you ask women if they'll date a white man. You come to a couple of sisters and they're gonna look at you sideways like, nah, well, we ain't doing it.
No, but I bet a couple of sisters will look and say, yes, I would do
now,
it.
I have dibbled and dabbled in the vanilla, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, when I did, swirl, dude had to have black dude swag. Like he was like the ones that I did date had swag of a black man.
So they wanted to be black.
Not they wanted to be black.
But how they gonna have swag of a black man?
Okay, so for instance,
I don't have anything about my Caucasian brothers because I got a lot of them. One of them is my son's godfather. But my thing is, I'm not gonna try to have swag like a white man.
It wasn't that. So for instance, one of the guys that I dated, he was from Louisiana, so he was Cajun, right? Mm-hmm. Straight up white boy, right? But he was born and raised in the boot. So he had the accent, his mannerism, everything reminded me of a brother. And so
you really wanted a brother then. You just took the alternate route.
I mean,
but look, hold on. We're gonna bring our guests in, but let me read this to you. I don't know if this when it began or this how it started, but I'm pretty sure it happened way before this time. In 1967, when misengagement laws were overturned in the United States, 3% of all newlyweds were married to someone of a different race, of ethnicity. Since then, intermarriage rates have steadily climbed. By 1980, the share of intermarried newlyweds had about doubled to 77%.
Interracial marriages?
Yeah, they said intermarried.
Okay, they're saying interracial marriages.
And then by 2015, the number had risen to 17%. So it ain't just the blacks, it's the Caucasians that want some of this dark meat too.
But wait, we never said that the vanillas didn't want the black woman. Even in slave days, they used to sneak off and go get that juice. You know what I'm saying? Because, black women just got the juice. But I'm just saying that statistically,
look,
when you look at an interracial marriage, 9 times, okay, I'm gonna do 8 times out of 10, it's a black man with another race of woman versus a black woman with another race of man.
Well, look, we're gonna bring our guests on.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen.
Okay, we're gonna bring our guests on.
Okay.
And he'll be on in 1 second. Hello. What's up, Mr. Bizzle?
OB.
Hey, man, I'm glad to have you on the show. Hey, before we just give our viewers a little insight about yourself, where you from. You can even tell them how we met, stuff like that, and we can go from there.
Well,
what you got?
Just shout out your city and let's get into it.
Well, I see what he's wearing, though.
Hey, already, man.
Go Chiefs! Go Chiefs!
Hey, Kansas City born and raised. My brother OB, like my fams, played college football together and whatnot. So we got some history, but y'all got some interesting topics of conversation this evening. So I may be able to lend a little light to the subject.
A little light, huh? So let me ask you, since you're about to dive in, you down with the swirl? Your current situation, is it swirled up or what is it?
Well, I'm currently single. I actually got divorced in February. After 17 years.
So you out here doing your thing, huh?
I mean, I'm taking care of my kids. You know what I mean. I'm not in the streets like that. Especially during these quarantine times. But
you loose now. You single, so you don't want to mingle so much.
I want to mingle, but that Rona want to mingle too. You know what
I'm saying? I do agree.
So Bizzle.
Okay, yeah. So but as far as relationships are concerned, I don't put any parameters on it. I believe that every man or woman has a soulmate. You know what I mean? And I believe that the majority of people will live their life without finding that soulmate. It's the few who are to, you know what I mean? So
lucky enough to find them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And who knows what part of this planet they walking on, you know what I mean? But so I don't put color on it, you know what I mean? I was married to a white woman for 15 years, together about 18 almost. And did I ever think she was my soulmate? No. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. And during that whole time I felt that same way, you know what I mean?
So then if you didn't feel that she was your soulmate, I hope you're not gonna say kids, but what reason, what made you get married?
I mean, you said it. You said it. You know what I mean? My father raised me to be a upstanding man. Came from a Christian household. No kids out of wedlock. You know what I mean? Just the era we grew up in. The 80s, 90s. The way the black man is viewed as having 2-3 baby mamas. Kids everywhere. I always told myself that whenever I got a woman pregnant, I want all my kids by the same woman. Just kind to dispel the stereotypes that black men face. You know what I mean? As far as being shitty fathers, a bunch of baby mamas, things like that, you know.
So, in that relationship, you dated. You said you were together for 18 years. So, I'm assuming, I'm not trying to put your age out there or whatever, but you dated Black women prior to that relationship, right?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
what you
I got you, Bizzle. I got you, dog.
and to be honest with you, that's the first white woman I ever dated in my life, and the first and the only ever.
Oh, okay. And would you date another white woman after that?
I mean, that's
You
kind
got
of
this guy worldwide.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, you know,
You probably messing up something.
It doesn't matter.
no. I mean, I'm honest. I'm definitely trying to be honest. You know what I mean? I can't say
Right.
I wouldn't. Or
No judgment.
if I had a preference, I would probably say no, never again. You know what I mean? And that strictly comes from a understanding standpoint of knowing what our culture is, what it was built upon, the way our minds work, the way we function as people. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in our divorce, I mean, I didn't have any beef. I was good, you know what I mean? But I came to realize it's just differences. And there ain't nothing wrong with them, you know what I mean? And them being differences, pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, you know what I mean? But
I cannot with you right
but
now.
that's just real talk. But that's just real talk.
But for
You know what I
real,
mean?
there is a difference.
Fucking candy yams versus sweet potatoes and apples. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Thanksgiving just ain't right.
say, brother, I have a couple of questions, and even though we know each other, you've been to my mom's front the night, came to Texas, played college ball together, played pro ball together, and your ex-wife, I still love and care about her because I had a chance to meet her. And, you know, I love my niece and my nephews and all of them because, you know, kids, it's not their fault what goes on in a marriage. It's between the mom and the dad. And sometimes we have to, and I'm pretty sure you have, because I know your character, to let them know this is what's going on, but mama don't love you no less and daddy don't love you no less. It's just we got to split up, but we still got you.
Right.
yeah.
But my question is, because I know we've done a lot of things together, what was I went to when we played ball in Springfield?
Yeah, I was going to get into that.
Well, we all did. It came to us. I mean, but anyway, what was the attraction to saying, okay, I'm gonna marry this woman?
To be
Well, he said it was because of the kids.
No, they ain't have kids at first.
well,
Oh.
You have to start before you have kids.
nah.
Oh, okay. What attracted you to her?
So, I mean, she ended up with child, and my beautiful Otis, soon to be 17-year-old daughter was born, and my father, man, old school, born in 1937, God rest his soul, passed
I already know.
2009. Boy, you need to marry that girl. Boy, you need to marry that woman. You got kids by that woman. And it got to the point, especially as a inner city raised man, to where for so long you would say, man, I ain't never getting married. Play it for life. You know what I mean? Pimping for the stigma that I'll say disables a lot of young black men from the inner city.
That y'all gotta remain players.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just that the G code, you know, the rules that you freaking supposed to operate by. At least that's what you are kind of trained and ingrained to believe.
Right. So prior to you getting married to her, what attracted you to her? Because listen, this is what I've heard. So when they went around and asked just random guys, right? Random black guys, like, who would you prefer? Black women over white women. All black men, but who would you prefer? And they all, majority, I'm gonna say about 90% said white women. And so they asked them why. And the majority said because they easier. and that
They ain't said it was freakier.
easier.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, us black women get in, but we are not into letting you and your homeboys run trains. We not into you gonna stick something up our butt and this and that. Like they do get freaky on another level. White girls
Hey,
do.
but you know what?
They like it like that.
I would have to disagree because I know some black chicks that really could get it in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, like I said, like a lot of that shit is rumors. You know what I mean? I honestly think it got a lot to do with who you are and what you're made of. You know what I mean? What you're built for. If you were inner city, more of a hood mentality type of cat, and you've dealt with a certain type of attitude and demeanor, like I said, it's just differences. White girls got just as much attitude as black girls, except for they just don't switch their hips to the side, smack their mouth, and pop their fingers like
So they
a
run off at the
sister
mouth
does.
just as much. You would think. You would say.
Huh?
From
Say that
your
again.
experience, you would say that they are just as mouthy as a black chick.
Oh, fucking right.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
you know
Oh,
what I
fucking
mean?
right.
Except for it just ain't as much. I mean, similar to what you mentioned about the difference between black and white fellas, the white guys with the black swag. They just don't have the black swag with it. And I'm a guy, my ex-wife did not have any black swag whatsoever. That's like the worst thing ever is to have one person act as though they are someone they aren't. And again, it's the demographic of where you're from. Like if you're from around that culture, those kind of folks who talk and walk a certain way, then you are
Pick it up.
more. Yeah, you're gonna pick it up. It's just natural, you know. So
See, that was one of my questions, Bills. Let me ask you this, and you just hit on it. Were the cultural differences a problem? Like if you like, I know the type of music you like.
Like you said, the sweet potato pie and the pumpkin pie.
Was it a music clash? Because you know me going to Sam Houston State, hey, go out Bearcats. I listen to country. You know what I'm saying? I listen to some rock, so I can dib and dab. So was that a problem or an issue where okay, I want to go to an R&B concert. She may want to include her.
well, you kind of broke up, but I think I caught the most of what you were asking. And no, there was never any music divide. Hell, she 3-6 Mafia for life. You know what I mean? That was her shit. Tear the club up. You know what I mean? But there are and were some differences. You know what I mean? For at least for me personally, and just to get into some realness.
Do you feel
Just
like as your partner, when you were married to a white woman, like she couldn't really understand your struggle as a black man in this world, in this United States of America, KKK? Could she not relate to your like real struggle?
And that's exactly what I was just about to speak on. Is I don't believe that she could, and it wasn't for a lack of caring or wanting to.
No,
it was
absolutely
just
not.
it was just an inability to understand. Like there was times where I dealt with certain situations that I won't get into, to where you're raised and conditioned, kind of like I spoke to before, that when certain people say certain things or use certain words, it's off with their head immediately. You know what I mean?
Immediately.
And to learn how to not do that way and understand as you grow that you can't act that way. And then at the same time, you go home and you express those things and they aren't felt like I feel they should be felt. And that's not her fault or my fault. It's just cultural differences and understanding. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of just what I was speaking about, to where for me, it was never any ill will. It's just differences. You know what I mean? And some of them, especially in today's climate, it just got tough.
It got tough.
Just for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Bizzle, before we let you go, man, I got one more thing, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but in the location where you at or where you once were, was it ever a situation in this day and time that you still had to deal with the way people look at you? Or,
Hell yeah, because every time I see a black dude,
dang, he's with him. Or if a beautiful black woman seen my beautiful black brother who's a king and be like, what the hell?
Right? Because I be wanting to say, bro, so for real, I couldn't get in where I fit in, for real. No, I'm just playing. While I pop my neck, right?
You can OB can slide me your number for real.
Hey, this is Zeke Freaky Tales with this nigga that thing.
Hey, I had to. Hey, what they say? You gotta shoot your shot. Pew, pew.
I mean, don't kill me. Bring that bazooka out, boy, and do it. What? Put it out there.
Say, bro, hey.
But you know, I honestly here in Southwest Missouri, man, it's not. You don't get the cold stares, and I think that's kind of how I ended up. Like I said, I never dated outside of my race before moving here, and the demographic, the cultural demographic of Southwest Missouri was like, at least at the time when I moved down here, man, it's like a chocolate chip in a bowl of milk. You know what I mean? You hard to find. You know what I mean? Few and far in between. So a lot of brothers who moved here, St. Louis, Chicago, Kansas City, Little Rock, Arkansas, kind of moved to this location for other reasons. But once they got here, they I mean, you gotta.
They indulge.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta indulge, get your groove on and whatnot. So, I mean, you kind of adapt to your environment.
Well, I'll say this as a black woman, no shade or whatever. Not to say that we hate on the situation or whatever, but even if we don't say anything, for me, I'm not going to speak for every black woman, but for a lot that I know, even if we don't say anything, it still hurts to see, especially when we're single. We're great women. We feel like we deserve, and we feel like, man, look at what he chose. Not what he chose. It don't even have anything to do with looks, but sometimes it does. But it's like, why couldn't you have given me that opportunity? And we see that, and we feel like we losing out, and it really does hurt. Still.
Well, I'll say this in the defense of the black man. I know that interactions that I've had. My mom lives in Shreveport, Louisiana. All my folks from Louisiana, Dallas, got family down there, Houston, where y'all at.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as much about color, I don't think. You know what I mean? I know for a black woman, it may look a certain way, but for a black man, the number of times I approached what I felt to be a beautiful black woman, like a gentleman, how I was raised, excuse me, how are you doing, and get the stank face, and they look me up and down and look like, nah, them jeans look like they might come from Walmart, or, you know, that he ain't got nothing but a t-shirt on. It ain't even, you know what I mean, from JCPenney. It's just a regular old $5-7 t-shirt, and you get that they read you. You know what I mean? And that's women in general, not just black or white, but black women, I believe, have a more difficult time hiding their emotions or really giving a shit if you know what they thinking or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll look you up and down, give you that stank face, and after a while, it's like, man, you know, what's the point? You know what I mean? And this is just me speaking for black men in general, just from what I know and my experiences and my guys and just people and just black men in general when it comes to approaching a fine ass or what you believe to be in your eyes a beautiful black woman. And me, I'm always a gentleman. It could never be any disrespect. And the number of times that I've been read immediately in my outfit or whatever I have, my watch gets judged, looking at my watch, look at my shoe. Of course, don't want a guy to look dusty, but an
Right.
excessive read is a turnoff. You know what I mean? So even if you do look me up and down and you give me the check off of approval, I'm still like, whatever, bitch. You know what I mean? In my mind. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Well, just a word of advice when you are choosing, because I'm not going to say a low maintenance woman, but you have women who are label whores, who are into designer and this and that. Okay, and so they do prejudge. I've seen it happen. They do prejudge. And a lot of those women, because these dudes are going in the club with the fake jewelry or whatever, and they having their way because they're label whores. So just be mindful when you are choosing. Peep her too. You know what I'm saying? Just to put you on game, peep her too. Look at what she has on. Look at, you know what I'm saying? And she could be put together, but she doesn't have to necessarily be a label whore, and you'll know the difference.
But you know
You know
what?
what I mean?
I just feel like I don't have the time for that shit. You know what I mean?
You're too old for that shit.
Outfit. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? What's your conversation? I don't give a damn if you have
Right.
on moon boots. I don't care, honestly.
She say moon boots.
But that's just me. That's not the majority, and I get that, but I'm different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, hey, brother, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I love you. Now that you done let me know that you got family here in Houston, because I didn't know that, I should be seeing your ass in a couple of months, in less than a year, we should say.
But think so, but I ain't seen them niggas either.
Well, you need to slide down. When you slide down, we gonna go to lunch or something.
Hey, man, I'm gonna shoot you that number. Say, hey, I hate that I missed you when I came to Kansas City, man, because I sure wanted to lay my eyes on you, man.
That was the next word out my mouth.
Hey, I'll be back, though. We gonna be back.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Say, man, I love you. Continue to support our show, man. Get the word out about our show, man. And if we have another show, I would love to have you on. Hey, I need that song that you made back in the days, bro. I lost it. But now I got some connects. I probably can get you back in the booth.
You got jokes.
Funny. No, hey, that shit was tight, man. But hey, bro, I love you. We got to get off, man, because we got to take a break. And I appreciate you coming on here, man. For real.
All right, love you too, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, man.
All right, bro.
Thank you so much.
Later.
Hey, that was a very good interview, wasn't it?
What?
And I gotta shoot him your number.
Well, okay.
Or your handles. Hey, but I am
Don't shoot him my handles, because you know I be cutting a wrench. And I need to put on my best representation.
But look, we gotta take a break. I'm Zeke the 5 Foot Freak with my co-host.
Miss me.
And we'll be back shortly.
We'll be right back.
Is marriage for white people? That's the question being asked by an author of a new book. Is marriage for white people? How the African-American marriage decline affects everyone. It's got a lot of people talking right now. Stanford law professor Ralph Richard Banks says it's time for black women to, this is a quote, give up the good fight on marrying a black man. Here he is.
The way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great load. Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to black men. They are attracted to black men, but attraction itself is complicated. And one of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate black women's attraction to black men.
Okay, Banks recently wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal and said that 70% of black women aren't married. That's roughly true. Okay, so is it time for single, educated, and working black women to just forget the notion of marrying a black man and look outside their race? A new Gallup poll shows more and more people are receptive to the idea of interracial marriage. In 1968, the numbers were quite low for whites approving of interracial marriage. This is a Gallup poll from USA Today, but today those numbers skyrocketed for both blacks and whites. So does the author have a point? Is the black marriage nearly obsolete? Is the idea just for white people? Have a black couple here who says, hello, I'm right here. Joining us more to talk about this is Lamar and Ronnie Tyler, bloggers for Black and Married with Kids. All right, Tyler, so I guess my first question is, what is your reaction to what you have just heard? A lot of people have been talking about this.
I just think the book is dangerous, and it's sending a dangerous message.
Dangerous?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely think it is just perpetuating all of the
Is marriage for white people? That's the question being asked by an author of a new book. Is marriage for white people how the African-American marriage decline affects everyone? It's got a lot of people talking right now. Stanford law professor Ralph Richard Banks says it's time for black women to, this is a quote, give up the good fight on marrying a black man. Here he is.
The way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great load. Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to black men. They are attracted to black men, but attraction itself is complicated. And one of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate black women's attraction to black men.
Okay, Banks recently wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal and said that 70% of black women aren't married. That's roughly true. Okay, so is it time for single, educated, and working black women to just forget the notion of marrying a black man and look outside their race? A new Gallup poll shows more and more people.
Well, we are back. I am Zeke the 5 Foot Freak with my co-host,
Miss Mina that diva.
and we just got off the air with one of our guests, Mr. Bizzle, Mr. Michael Burris, and I'm glad he was able to come on the show. But our topic tonight is
Black men dating other races of women and besides black women. It's becoming more popular.
now. Look, I did some research on this, and
Okay.
these are some of the things that they were saying that this is the reason why black men. Now, this is not coming from me. It's just stuff I looked up. Why black men like to date white women, and it say why are black men the most likely to date outside? Black men have some very peculiar patterns and statics in regards to the interracial dating. Some of it is because of body size, waist, breasts, lips, and ass.
But ain't nobody banging like a black chick. I mean, real talk. If you want to talk about, hips, ass, whatever, plastic surgery came about because, black women don't go get lip injections to get bigger lips. We were born that way. Black women don't typically go get injections to get a bigger ass. For the most part, we're born that way. Black women don't have to go and really get tits implants because we were born that way. We were born with the Coke bottle shape. That's where it comes from. Us with the curves, boo. White women are not born Coke bottle. I mean, in real life.
What about the things that the waist trainer thing, as it was called?
What about them?
When they tie them real tight, so they want to get their waist and hips in and look like the what? Yeah.
Right, but think about it. Black women are already curvaceous women. For the most part, white men, I don't think, was attracted to black women because we had too much curves. Usually they like white women that straight up and down, like skinny.
But I think what happened was when they saw people like, your beautiful self, Queen, walk by, they be like,
and
God.
Beyonce, you know what I'm saying, and Rihanna's, and you know what I'm saying. You don't get that typically. You know, our body shapes are just different. The way we come out naturally is just different. You know, it is. It really is, and it's no shade to the Caucasian women or what have you. We're all just built different. Even with Hispanic women, we're built different from them. Hispanic women typically have really small tops and really larger size bottoms. You know what I'm saying? Like that pear shape. So it's like we differ in a lot of ways, but hands down, and maybe I'm just biased because I'm a sister. I don't think nobody can outdo a sister in regards to body, especially if her body right, and you put 10 chicks up against each other, that sister body gonna be banging.
Miss Mina, there is some white chicks out there. There's some Cuban chicks out there.
That's not white. Cuban is not white.
So you consider them as...
Cuban is more closer to Latino, more closer to us on our side. See, that's why they say black and browns. If you notice, black and browns is that everything, black and Puerto Rican and Latino, and that's black and brown. Our bodies are different from white girls.
Hold on. Do we have our guest on? Miss Only Kanata? Did I say that right?
Only one Candy.
Only one Candy? Oh.
Yes. He
Well,
just put his glasses on.
I apologize. Yeah, I can't see worth the shit. But anyway, have you been tuning into our show and what the topic is and what have we been talking about?
I think I caught my first show maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I was thoroughly entertained.
Well, I'm sorry we wasn't able to bring you on. Normally, we're not the one in the studio running everything, so we have to try to do it ourselves. But I've been YouTubing to figure out how to do all this crap, so now I'm kind of getting pretty good at it. So I seen that you were one of our top listeners, so I wanted to bring you on to see what your take on it is.
What do you think?
Honestly, I didn't hear the question. I just happened to notice my notification.
Well, go ahead and tell her what the topic of the show is.
So the topic is black men dating outside of their race. It's becoming more common, and they're choosing women of different races more often than black women.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
I feel like I've seen it more with the younger generation now. Not to say that, I'm 42 years old, so not to say my generation and before us, it wasn't doing it, but I'm definitely seeing it heighten with the younger crowd. And I've been watching different things where questions have been asked, what is it about them?
Right.
That they choose to go in that other direction. And all of it is superficial. Like,
it is.
I ain't seeing it more with the younger. It's superficial. It's like, because we're too difficult. We're too this. They don't speak back. They do this. They do that.
And you're hearing that they're more passive than we are.
Exactly.
I have a question before we go in. With your accent, where you from? You from Philly, Chicago, New York?
Born and raised in Queens.
Oh.
I know it was somewhere with that accent. All right.
Queens in the house.
Born and raised in New York.
Well, I'm glad we have a listener. Are you residing in Queens as well?
Nope, I live in Atlanta right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay,
I'm glad.
Shout out to the ATL.
Yeah, you're one of our first guests that came on from that's from New York or Queens and ATL. And we really appreciate you coming on and not only voicing your view and not being afraid. I always try to get the guys to come on, but it's more women come on than the guys.
So just a question, as a black woman, when you see guys, black men who are with other women, because I just made a statement a minute ago and I said that although we may not say anything or side eye or whatever at the time, on the inside, does it make you feel some kind of way? Even though we should be more evolved and, politically correct. But truth be told, does it make you feel some kind of way?
To be honest, it really does not.
It doesn't?
When it bothers me, it really doesn't. It begins to bother me when you get into the why.
Into the why.
When you get to the why, when you really dig deep into those that you catch in a spot that are, I don't want to say transparent, because sometimes a lot of them, you just have to catch them at the right moment when they're living in their truth at that moment as to why.
Right.
But when you say, when you get into the why, is the why is the question that you propose to them when they by themselves, or you just asking your question to the why, or are you looking at the female saying, okay, I understand why he probably hollered at her?
Nope, more so as why I have not outright asked someone, well, why are you with her of a certain nationality? I let people tend to talk, and you can kind of hear it. You know,
right.
you can gauge a certain, you can kind of guide conversations in a certain way to really get to it. My younger brother, for instance, is married to a white woman, and I absolutely love her.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love her. That's always been his preference since he was popped out. And so always been his preference.
And in our family, we also have our brother, cousins, or whatever, who they swear by other races of women. One of my cousins, his line is, if it ain't snowing, he ain't going. Okay, so
wow.
What was, when you asked your brother, because I'm sure because that is your brother, you asked the question, what made you, why is that your preference? What was his response?
I honestly never asked him why. I think about where, when he got of the age to start dating and really seeing females, we moved from New York to Jersey, and the area where we lived at in Jersey was predominantly white. Okay. And just from knowing him, our childhood, during that time, I don't want to say it like that, but he was seen more by women of different nationalities. Okay. And that's really what it was. It's like, he spent most of his time around more multicultural individuals. He was accepted more. Right. From that, from multiple cultures than he was of our own.
So you think he was accepted more from the different cultures, and they gave him more attention than his own culture? That's probably why he went that route.
It's not so much that they were more accepting of who he was, because the way we were raised, as you can hear my accent. My accent is stronger than
it is.
My other siblings. Right. But whereas my mother was very particular about our speech, I can turn mine off and on. My younger brother and my younger sister, they can't. When you speak to them, you honestly can't tell who you're talking to. So, coming from where we were and to the area where we were, our culture more so made fun of him. They made fun of him from the way that he spoke, or from the way that he looked, from the way that my mother pretty much raised us to be comfortable with whatever the hell it is that we wanted to wear, what we wanted to listen to, and my brother has just always been open to everything. Right. So going into this environment and being young and trying to find his space, but getting slack from those that look like him, getting a lot of pushback. Right. He felt more comfortable by those that were more accepting of him being who he was. Period.
And see that's funny that you say that, because I'm from Texas, so I'm pretty sure we got the Southern draw. So when I used to live in Kansas, women used to love my accent because it was different. And the same difference from, you get a Texas man and he hearing somebody from New York or Cuba or something like that, and it's a beautiful woman, they're attracted to that. So by somebody teasing them from his own culture about the way he talked, that just baffles me.
Yeah, and he didn't speak with an accent. Both of my brother and sister speak very proper. Very proper.
And I hate the saying that if you see, and we do it a lot, and I've had to correct even my older sons with my younger son, because my younger son speaks very proper. Whereas my older two sons speak more slang, right? And they're like 10, 15 years apart. They're about 15 years apart from my younger. And I've had to say, listen, and they've made the statement, you talk white. And I'm like, what the hell is talking white? And I've had to check them on that, because there's no such thing as fucking talking white. Just because he speaks proper English and articulates what he's saying in proper English instead of using slang, that does not mean that he's talking white. So you mean he can't be articulate as a Black child? Is that what you're saying? And our Black culture is really bad at that. Whenever we are speaking plain English, proper English, and we're, called, Oreos or whatever, and you talk like them white people. What the hell? Okay. You see what I mean?
And that's what he got. Mm-hmm. He got a lot of that. And it's just, to me, like I said, to me it makes sense. And they used to make fun. Oh, you sound like a little white boy. You sound like you sound like this. You sound like that. And he couldn't help it. My mother was very particular about. I understand the reason why she was the way she was with the way we spoke.
Right.
Because from moving from Jersey, from New York to Jersey, she told us from jump, because of the way you speak, they're going to try to label you. They're going to try to do this. And I remember sitting when we transferred schools, they put me in a trailer and they had me recite words. And I remember my mother telling me, like, no, it's street. You say, you speak clear, you enunciate, you say this.
Right.
So,
wow, that's crazy.
Them like that. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the kids that came in from other cities got put in like remedial classes, whereas I was put in general population because she taught me how to speak.
Right. And I think our culture needs to get away from that condemning or shunning and talking down on individuals who speak proper English. I hate to hear our people tell each other, "Oh, you talk white." You know what I'm saying? Like we're stupid or something, and we're supposed to only speak slang because we're that freaking ignorant. And that's not the case.
And you know what? And that's sad to say, because I'm one that have done that, even with my own son. My son was born in Kansas, but he was always down here with Texas with me every time he had a chance. And he speaks proper and the correct dialect. And I used to always say, like, you sound white, or whatever the case may be. And it was wrong.
Instead of saying you sound educated.
Right, yeah, you sound educated. And because that's why I say I was one of the ones that used to do that. And I probably did it with a lot of my friends and stuff like that. Probably still do it now, but I know it's wrong. I hope my friends know that I was joking, and don't think I have a bad relationship with my son, because my son is a daddy's boy. He's not a mama's boy. He's a daddy's boy. But I am at fault for doing that.
Would you date outside your race? Just
absolutely.
You would?
What? Absolutely.
Do you think as Black women, and here's the thing about, because us Black women, we really, really are into our Black men, right? But do you think that we shoot ourselves in the foot by just like holding out to have a Black man, and maybe we should become more open to dating outside our race?
I'm a hell of a free spirit. I believe when it comes to that, I don't think you should limit yourself based on appearances.
Well, you know what? Only one kind of candy lady. I'm gonna delete you from our show.
Don't do it. I got your back, Miss Candy. Don't worry about it. I got your back, girlfriend. You don't have to worry about that.
You probably got a lot of nice kings on this station trying to hear this voice and trying to look. They probably write down only one kind of candy lady trying to find out who you are. But guess what? They're gonna delete you. We're gonna hashtag no one kind of candy lady.
No. I got you. No, but seriously, like we really, like Black women really are into Black men. Like we really want a Black king. I know majority of us, we want a Black king. If we had a preference.
It's definitely a preference. It's
right.
Definitely a preference, but because of who I am, I'm not going to dismiss anybody simply because of the way that they look. Like I know someone in particular when I say, oh, so Black power, so this, and if it didn't come 2 shades darker than she wasn't fucking with it.
Right.
And she turned around and ended up a gentleman that was her friend, and she never looked twice at. They're married now with 2 kids.
Really?
She went strong. She went strong with that
and
one too. She said not fucking with it.
Right, because for a very long time I was like, dude, I'm not not giving, I've had a lot of men outside of black men approach me. And I was like, dude, I am not fucking with you at all. Like, you not black? I'm not with it. It's whack. I ain't with it. Just because it's not a black man, but I've probably missed out on some really great individuals because I was so close-minded and only wanted a black man.
Well, look, only one candy lady. Before we let you go, we would love for you to continue to listen to our show, and we'd like to try to bring you on as much as we can because the conversation is good and you're straightforward and honest, and we really appreciate that. But I have a question for you.
Okay.
We always do questions to Miss Mina that Diva at the end of the show, and I should have did this with one of our guests before he got off, but I'm gonna throw this one at you. Go. Ladies, this to you. What's one thing you want from a man but never get?
That I never get?
Yeah.
Right. What's one thing?
Now, don't say you get everything. It's something that you probably wish that he would have did this or he would have did that. I wish he would have did this.
Are we speaking overall in general or
See, now you're trying to break it down so you can answer it politically correct. Now, you heard the question, Miss Only One Candy Lady.
Answer politically correct is not me.
Right.
Get what you get.
See, that's why we want you back on the show.
But men in general, if you in your dating scene and I don't know if you're married or not or what have you, but in dealing with the male species, what is it that you wish that you could gain from the male species that they don't often give?
The first thing that comes to mind, I would probably say,
what are you doing?
She's still on. I ain't do nothing.
No, we can't hear her.
Miss Candy Lady. Hello? Look. See,
okay.
That wasn't me.
Okay, we can. Okay, so what did you say? I'm sorry, you were cut off because our people.
I said that probably consistency.
Consistency.
Probably. That's probably the one thing that it's been consistently inconsistent across the board.
Right? Because they'll come for you hard in the beginning, right? If you're dating or what have you, you get those texts, you get those, hey, this and that. And they come from you real hard, especially if you shade them. I don't understand the man dynamic. Like, if you don't check for them, then they're on you like white on rice, right? But the minute that you start showing them some attention and you give them what they're looking for, now all of a sudden they're not interested or uninterested. I don't get that.
Yeah, then they fall back. I don't.
Well, look.
And I can't be bothered with the inconsistency.
No, I want.
Right.
We just had one of our viewers to say this, and I want to get your take on it. See, you getting brought into our show now. It says, "I tell you why black women want white men. They want to get out of the ghetto, which I think that's racially biased. Get out of the ghetto fabulous. Black men are always broke. That's stereotypical. They want money and white men have it."
Baby. Aaron,
we gotta say no, man.
AG. Hold on. First of all, no, don't
because you brought into this.
Because first of all, AG, let me check you on something. All of our brothers are not broke. First of all.
Hello, hallelujah, holla back.
Secondly, they are a hot commodity, which is why we are always at odds with everybody else because everybody wants them. Okay, all of them are not ghetto fabulous. There's a whole lot of them that are out of the ghetto. Okay, and it's a small percentage that are in there, but that's what the media likes to give rise to. Okay, but I'll have you know that we have plenty of educated, paid, unghetto black men. Okay, which is why all of the white women come after them and want them, especially when they're in the NFL or the NBA or something like that. Don't do our brothers. Now, see, I'm a sister first, before anything, before I'm a co-host, before I'm a whatever, and I'm just not going to let you roast my brothers like that.
Now,
for the record.
You ain't going to do me like that, AG.
Anyway, what you gonna say, sister? Because hold on. I had to get AG all the way together first. So do you have any comments, Miss Candy?
In response to that?
Right, to what he had to say?
I stopped listening after the nonsense kicked in. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, sister. Okay, sister.
Well, we trying to get it because I guess this segment is getting hot. Oh, she's on. Miss. Hey, I want to say this name, and this is no disrespect. We just have a new guest to come on, along with only one candy lady, and her name is Miss Borderline Bitch.
Okay.
Here we go.
Read them then, girl. So, Miss Candy, we thank you for coming on.
Was you talking about the money?
Huh? What'd you say?
Was that you talking about the money?
Yes. What, me checking Mr. AG?
Oh no, you were checking the AG. I was asking about Borderline Bitch. I thought she was saying something about the money and that. I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was talking about the money.
No, but we thank you. Hold on for a second, Miss Borderline Bitch. But Miss Candy, we thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna
thank you.
We're gonna let our other guests chime in and see what she has to say. But we really appreciate you representing New York and ATL.
Yes, thank you.
All right, baby. Hey, glad you tuned in. We want to hear from you again. And now we're going to let Miss Borderline Bitch go at it, and we're going to ask her some questions ourselves.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Miss Borderline, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fine. How about you? I don't even know what y'all talking about. I had came in because Candy Lady was on there. That's my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, Miss Borderline, can you tell us a little about yourself, where you from and where you at now?
Where you from, Miss Borderline?
I'm from Atlanta, born and raised.
ATL in the house. So the topic tonight is choosing other races of women over Black women and how it's becoming more popular. And I just had to roast Mr. AG because he said, I'll tell you why Black women want white men and they want to get out the ghetto. They want to get away from the ghetto fabulous, and Black men are always broke and they want money and white men have it. So I had to roast him for a second. I'm sorry. But I had to let him have it for my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you feel about that? Do you think his statement was true, or is it just being stereotypical, or what?
I think it's stereotypical. It's a lot of Black men out here that got money and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know why they prefer other. Me personally, I've always been like, oh, I want my Black king or whatever. So I've never really just like stepped outside of that. But I think a lot of them like other races because it's just different. You know, they always try to make it seem like the other race is so much better, so much more submissive and stuff like that. But I got a couple white female friends that mess with Black dudes, stuff like that. They ain't all that submissive and stuff like, you know,
right.
Put it out there. Some of them are just like us, especially if you get in a room and talking about certain shit together. It's like, people are like, oh, okay, but I think the thing about us, women, Black women, is we're more vocal. Them little chicks, they run off and, you know,
crying a car.
Cool chest to their friends, and then they come home, hi, honey, and all that other shit. So they don't bid it all damn day. So they happy when they get home.
Right.
Well, hold on, but wait a minute. It's some
people out our business, so we ain't doing all that necessarily when we say we got to play.
Right.
Miss Borderline. It's some of the women out there that they are vocal too, and they probably being vocal because they probably trying to have the African American woman swag, like my co-host said. Some of the white guys be trying to have a Black man swag.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this:
I think so.
Do you think that a lot of my African American kings, brothers, tend to go to the white women because of body size, body shape, lips, breast, and butt?
I don't know, because it's like now they're trying to mimic us. So I mean,
you know what I'm saying, girl?
But my thing is, now this the
you
problem.
gotta say that, girl.
But this the problem I have. Even if they are mimicking us, why do we always go out and try to alter what we already have that we feel that they trying to mimic?
Okay, what do you mean? Alter what we already have?
They go get their breasts done. Our people, they go get their booty done.
9 times out of 10, if you are referring to a Black chick, majority of us are going to get breast reductions or breast lifts from having kids and our titties are sagging. But other than that, we're not checking for no implants, boo. Like, we trying to reduce these triple D's and double D's that we come equipped with. majority of the time, we're not going to get booty implants or whatever because we already have that. Now we may go and have our waist snatched, or we may go and have tummy tucks to get back to our bodies that we had prior to having children. But for the most part, we're not going to lay on the table to go add. We going to subtract or suck some lipo or something, get some fat out and transfer or whatever.
And just so y'all know, she's reading me in this studio too.
Are you there, Miss Borderline? What happened?
I don't know. She's still Miss Borderline.
Okay, we lost her. No, I'm how you call in? Byron Sweeney wants to call in. I mean, I'm sorry for saying names.
Mr. Sweeney, if you're an iPhone or an iOS user, you need to download the Station Head app, and then we can bring you into the show. But if you want to go through Facebook, I can send.
Oh, there you go.
I can bring you through the Be Live. I can send you the link, and then you can log on through that.
Yeah, so what's your take on that, Miss Borderline? Do you think that Black women go and lay on the table to add to or to take away?
Nowadays, I see people adding to. It's like, I don't know if they're in competition with white people.
See, that's what I said.
They're in constant build a body mode, so it's like now we just gotta be extra for no reason. Not all of us are blessed with so much, but it's like, for the most part, I don't think at first, for this whole social media thing and all these reality stars or whatever going, and every 5 minutes they get their ass 10 times bigger than it was before.
You know what I mean?
feel like it was like an ish.
K. Michelle.
Until then, it's like with the Kim Kardashians and the Khloe's changing their body every other week. I mean,
But I mean, they're adding a whole lot to it to look voluptuous like we already are. Like, for instance, you got the K. Michelle who went and added booty or whatever, and now she regrets that for the life of her.
Yeah,
because
had it removed and it almost killed her.
Right, chick, you already came equipped with that. Why would you go and try to put some more in there? Like, we already.
Everything is about competition, but it's not even to me. I don't even think a lot of women do stuff for me, and they do it for other women. It's like they do it for the competition of other women. It's like, just even getting dressed, like, you're not really getting dressed for me. You getting dressed so I can upstage this bitch. So it's like, at this point,
wow.
A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, well, these white men out here building themselves, let us do more so we can catch more attention, draw more attention than they are. It's like a competition thing. It's weird, but I don't know. I'm like, man, like, all white women or whoever all the time.
Miss Borderline, now I have a question with you being in ATL.
Oh yeah.
You have a lot of brothers that's out there, which are kings, my Black American brothers, kings, but they really are side queens though.
Is that true?
Look, she said, "Oh Jesus."
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Is that true? Like, are the men out there more?
I'm gonna say this. It is a lot of that down here, but it's a lot of people that's here that are not like me, that's born and raised. Like, I'm born and raised here, but a lot of people that are here aren't from here. So
that's why they queens.
It's a lot. I'm not saying that's why they queens, because there's some queens from here. I know some queens that's born and raised here too, but it's a lot of them that ain't even from here. So, like, a lot of people that here aren't from here, and I think that's the thing that people kind of like misinterpret. It's like, if you will walk around and say, "Hey, where you from?" A lot of them, "Oh, I'm from, Florida, or New York, or anywhere else." It's when I tell people that I'm from here, I get the, "Oh my God, it's hard to meet somebody from here that's from here." I'm like, yeah, y'all ran us out of here.
Right. Right.
So a lot of us ain't here, don't worry.
But the rate of homosexuality in regards to because Atlanta's supposed to be like Wakanda, right? Actually.
Let's see, I tell you.
Hell on now, stay off Tip. I like Tip. Tip support his people now.
Let's see, I said, he said this Wakanda is bigger when they was on the news about the riots and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you find it hard in the dating arena in that area to find like real straight men or Black men, or is it like, you rolling the dice?
I would say I haven't like ran into no guys that I think that I suspect that might be on a down low left like that. Then I have like gay male friends, so I'll ask them, "Hey, what you think?" Because they have like, how many men actually in here, like, gawking at other men or whatever. And I was shocked because some of those men, I was like, well, shit, I would have never thought you would be.
Right.
Okay, and that's the thing that's scary. It's like.
But what if your gay friends is wrong though, saying that this dude is gay and he really not gay?
A lot of times they don't be wrong, but see, they'll do little stuff. I don't know, because I know one of the guys tell me they have like little signals or whatever, and they kind of know little stuff that they'll do or say to each other that lets them know. So it's like, I guess it's like an underground code or whatever they have, like, that'll let say little certain shit to each other. And it's like, wow, this is crazy.
And that's what they consider to be trade, right?
I was in the club, it was like a little male strip club or whatever, and I was just shocked because some of the men that I was like, damn, I gotta go try it out. And he was like, okay.
Right.
So it's like, how do you do that? But I mean, I think it's ostracized a little bit, you know, but I mean, because gay people are everywhere. I mean, you can't.
They are.
That's just a thing. They are. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Each his own. But it's like, I think it's very ostracized here in a sense because it's like now it's like, oh, we're the gay capital. I don't really feel.
Y'all the gay capital.
That's what I mean. Hearing people say we're like the gay capital or something, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like I said, I don't deal with both sides as far as like, you know, I have gay male friends, so I mean. They have their little areas that they hang in, and most of them are like the city part, you know. But then it's like, I don't know. I think it's just ostracized a little bit. I mean, because I do run across a lot of straight men. I mean, if they dip in that, it'll come out. But it's like crazy because I'm like, just be true to yourself. Let people know. Don't just, you know, run around here doing stuff and then not say nothing and then have people find out. That's what makes mad, you know.
I don't think they just gonna straight come out if they're gay. You know, they don't want to burn the scene.
If they're in the closet, like down on the down low, whatever, no, they're not.
Well, just turn on the closet light. You'll see their shadow and their toes.
So as a black woman, back on going back to the topic, would you date outside your race?
I've considered it like in my recent years until I got into my current situation, but it's like I had because I'm just like, you know what, maybe whole black kid thing just ain't for me. Like even my sister was like, you gonna fuck around and end up with a white man, keep looking for a black one.
Right.
Man, why y'all doing all these kings? There's so many kings out here, y'all just keep doing them like that.
And the black man says that a lot. Like it's a lot of black kings out here, they want black women. But where are they at though? You know, because it's not like we not.
But they be chasing everything else, so it's like
absolutely. So it's like
they be fascinated by, you know, the opportunity to be with something else. You know, because it's like
it's
hey,
different.
She want to talk to me, you know. She want to talk to me, or she want to deal with me, or whatever. I think it's just like a fascination thing. To me, it kind of reminds me of like, this is gonna sound weird, but like the slavery days or whatever, when black men was just sitting here knowing they couldn't fuck with a white woman. Anyway, but they did it and risked their life to do it. But now it's like, now it's okay for them. So they like, I'm going to do it because I can. You know? The thing that bothers me is like, I don't care who you with. Love is love or whatever. But it's like, I hate when I feel like the black men get with another race now so they can't stand black women with your damn mama play.
Right.
Hello.
You're not going to sit here and just talk down on us.
I don't care who you with.
Right.
But don't get on the other side of me and like you ain't come from black mama.
Okay. Right.
You got black sisters and black aunts and shit.
Right.
You can be with whoever, but don't just stand and like your race is like, because you better
like we trash
and down there.
Right.
Well, look, Miss Borderline, we're about to let you go, but I'm gonna have a question for you that I should have asked all my guests. But I love it how the ATL is tearing up our airways, and we couldn't even get the Texas people to come on. But look, this is my question. Could you be in a relationship where you shared your GPS location at all times? Can you explain why to your answer?
I mean, I ain't got nothing to hide, so yeah.
So you would share if your significant other said, "Hey, I need your GPS. Where you at?"
When I was married, me and my ex-husband, we used to share our GPS location all the time. We had Verizon, so they had like a family tracking thing or whatever. We used to share ours all the time.
Oh,
so he was a truck driver too, so I mean, I didn't have an issue with it. He was a truck driver anyway, so he would be everywhere. So
Well, I can understand that because you'll know his location. He's on the road. I can understand being married.
Yeah.
If you're going out shopping or you leaving from the store, you get off late, at least I know where you at and things of that sort. So I guess I would have to agree to you on that if you're in a relationship. But if it's just you my boyfriend, you my girlfriend, it's really, in my opinion, it's no.
They're doing it for insecurity reasons.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
see,
thank you, Miss.
I couldn't find that word. I'm glad you found that word.
But thank you, Miss Borderline, for coming on. We sure do appreciate you representing ATL tonight.
In the house.
All right.
Continue listening, girlfriend. And continue listening. If you really enjoyed the show, make sure you like, share, tag us.
I follow y'all.
That's what I'm talking about.
I have a podcast too that I'm coming back to. That's where the name come from. Borderline Bitch. I got a website and a podcast. I'm bringing it back, but I just took a little break. I passed my real estate exam today, so it's real worth it.
Well, congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
And be sure you friend request us because we'll love to follow you and hopefully you'll bring us on the show because I can act a damn fool.
Okay, Miss Borderline.
Oh, yeah, we asked for that fool. I said Candy Lady was on there, so let me see my friends.
Okay, girl. Well, thanks for tuning in. You have a good night.
Okay, thank y'all for having me.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Well, we done had some good guests. I guess we'll go into social media posts with Miss Mina that Diva before we get off the air because our studio host is signaling and telling us we need to get off. And again, I'd like to apologize for us. I thought we were starting at 8, but it was at 8:30. But we didn't have a lot of good questions. We didn't have 3 good guests. We had 2 more guests that we couldn't get on. So hopefully we can bring them on to a.
Before you get into
show.
that, let me briefly touch on what one of our guests on the site had to say. So this guy had to say, we always around 30 or above. We always, the ones that are around. No, he said we always around. 30 or above think so much different. No understanding from Black men to that belief or of thought. Okay, so what are you saying in that? What is he saying in that?
What the belief and thought of the interracial relationship? Yeah.
That they think so different, like you would prefer a Black woman, you stick with your Black women, because I know majority of the of our guests that was on my page when I posted the question earlier said, and a majority of these guys were Black, they were all like, we do prefer Black women. We prefer our own queens. So maybe society and the media paints a picture that makes us believe that Black men are really not as into Black women as they really are, or, what do you think?
I think it can go both ways because, like, one of our guests said that, like, her sister or relative said that you stay chasing after these Black men, you're going to find yourself by yourself. So my thing is, she may have thought or assumed that maybe if I pursue somebody outside my race, I'll probably have a better chance of ending up with somebody. But my thing is, though, I think it's always, like our first guest said, Michael said, it's always somebody out there for you, but you just have to find that mate. And when you're looking for that mate, I don't think we should be looking at color barriers of if she's white or if she's Black or whatever.
But we all have preference, though, right?
Yeah, we all have preference. But my thing is, like,
and what if chocolate is just happens to be the preference?
Then sometimes that chocolate gonna get outdated, and you're gonna find yourself without something sweet.
Now, I'll say this before we start getting into the questions that we pull from offline or whatever. Typically, I've heard, that Black women are too strong and too headstrong, and we, have mouths or whatever. But the reality of the matter is this: Black women have had to be strong. Whenever they were tearing a Black man down and incarcerating our Black men at a higher level, a higher rate than any other race, the Black woman had to step in and become the sole provider, had to become the head of the household, where Black men used to own that position. And so we've all been hurt. You know what I mean? Black men have been hurt. Black women have been hurt as well. And so I believe that if we are going to choose to be with one another, I think that we need to get past, our issues together and understand that we both have issues and be willing to heal with one another.
I agree.
Instead of being against each other. And that's just the way I think. There's a lot of Black women that are great. And I myself, I am a strong Black woman, but I'm very submissive as well. I just have to have the right kind of man that will lead me. I'll allow him to lead. I'll be submissive, but you have to be equipped and have that ability to lead me so that I can be submissive. Right.
And then what the question you asked, he responded to them when you asked, what do you mean?
Oh, he said, what I mean, 30 and above, we think so much different. We get it at that point. No bullshit.
I guess he said when they get older, they get it that I guess they ain't looking at the different types of color. They looking at the longevity, I would assume.
Right. And you know, Black women age like fine wine, baby. We get better with time. Yes, we do. That skin look like 20 and she 50. I'm just saying.
So
okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, here we go. What will you tell your 18-year-old self about love and relationships?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think we're so afraid. A lot of us have been hurt so much that after a while of being beat down, we put up these barriers and we get, we're afraid to try. Mm-hmm. And I think that our 18-year-old selves are in a position where we'll just jump out there. So I would tell my 18-year-old self, when you get older, put yourself out there. Still put yourself out there because you just never know. Don't be so guarded.
Now, my response to that, now I'm speaking as far as the ladies. What I would tell an 18-year-old lady is, if you're pursuing a gentleman, make him wait. You ain't always got to have sex. Make him respect you. Because my 18-year-old self, I was trying to hit everything that was moving, and me and my homeboys was going to talk about it. So you can take it how you want. If you want to give it up, because that person may leave you. You're trying to get it from somebody else, and then you're going to be giving it up to somebody else, and then you don't know how long-term that's going to go. And if you're somebody that's getting ready to go off to college, it's guys that's in college, that's older, and you probably like an older man, and they're going to be trying to see if they can get it for you to give it up, and they're going to leave you alone, and they're going to try to be messing with the next young tender that coming in, so she can give it up.
Well, don't misconstrue what I just said with giving it up. When I say put yourself out there, I just mean like don't be so guarded when a man walks up to you like the guy from KC said, you give him a stank face and shit. Don't do all that. I'm saying put yourself out there, be open. And if a man walks up to you, black chicks, and he got on a Walmart shirt, and you never know, this man may be a truck driver. He may own his own fleet of 18-wheelers, and you passing up on a great man because you judging him because he got on some New Balance or some Walmart Shacks and a t-shirt. Well, boo, he work hard. Okay, most millionaires don't dress like millionaires. They dress like bums, just so you know.
All right. Other than sex, what are at least two things that you enjoy doing with your mate?
I like good combo. I told you before, I'm a sapiosexual. I like stimulating conversations. Sapiosexual. I like to be mentally stimulated. Like, I like good conversation. Like, teach me something, boy. That's going to turn me on. Boy. Get them drawers wet.
What I like is, first off, I like traveling. And I like new experiences of something that you may have never done. Like,
true. Like
for an African-American man, I like getting on the water. One, because I can swim. Sometimes, and then this is my stimulus, sometimes seeing the fear of somebody else and knowing that I can get them to get on the water with me, like trusting me.
Yeah.
And then being able to enjoy the things that I enjoy, like with nature, whether it's, and I'm a drone guy. I like flying drones. And to see a person try to handle a drone or get into my canoe or raft and go out in the open water with me when you know the only person that you have to trust is me and you.
Right.
Because if you fall in the water, the fish ain't going to save you. These mermaids, they probably save me and they gonna save you.
That's another thing. Black people, why black people don't know? A lot of black people don't know how to swim. I know we probably do because we from the island, but y'all need to learn how to swim with y'all crazy self. What's wrong with y'all? Don't want to get in the water. Oh, you don't want to get your hair wet. Oh, you better get in the doggone water.
You ready for this one?
Okay, go.
What's the pettiest thing you would take after a breakup?
All the damn phone charges, everything. I think if you ain't talking to nobody, I'm taking all the phone charges. You're gonna be dead as a doorknob.
Not Not that I have ever done any of these things, but I would think it would be cool if the fellas took all the makeup and all the curling irons, like everything,
all the flat irons.
yeah, everything that they have to use to get themselves up. They'll be shit out of luck when they walk out that door. Why don't a lot of financially struggling mothers take their fathers to court? That's a good ass question.
Wait, what?
Why do a lot of financially struggling mothers, like you can be struggling, but you don't want to take the father to child support or file child support on?
I'm against child support.
Are you?
I mean, listen.
So you never filed child support on?
I have. Not. Let me.
So you ain't against it?
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me explain, please. I am guilty of putting the system into my business. I was younger. I was dumber. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, it was punishment. I used it as a punishment. But now that I've gotten older, and I'm even going to be honest and say that I went to my son's father and was like, all right, do you have rears with my child? Because if you do, I want to take away the rears. Now, I want to get to a point where we both still have an agreement, a signed agreement that you're going to pay this, or that. But I don't want those folks in our business. It's not necessary.
Did the court allow you to take away those rears?
Yeah, you can sign off the rears.
Oh, okay. And
the reason I feel that we should sign off the rears, especially in our culture, is because it holds the black man down even more. You know what I'm saying? It goes on their credit, so they can't evolve. You know what I'm saying? They can't step up, and you can have a standing agreement without it being attorney general child support.
And you know what? I have a friend, and you know this gentleman too. He's going through the same thing where his baby mama is falling on him, and he went to the baby mama as well as to her husband to like try to have a man-to-man conversation, like, hey, why don't you go ahead and holler at her and tell her I'm paying for everything.
Right.
But do you think like that's wrong or something? Like, if I come to you, why you still got me on child support? You married, you moved on, our child grown. Right. I guess the rears or the back child support, why you not taking that off? Or if the argument is I'm still not doing it, and then you man enough to go talk to the husband and say, hey man, this was going on, you know I'm taking care of my kid, and he's so weak that he can't go to his wife and say, why are you still holding on to this guy? Do you want him?
Well, my middle son's father, I did it to him because he was just being an asshole in the beginning and refused to do what he had to do. So in that case, I was forced to do that with him. Like I said, my baby boy, it was a punishment, right? But I would say for the guys that are doing their part and are paying child support, some chicks think that, or here's another thing in regards to child support. The chicks that need government assistance, it's all a loophole. It's a system that they have to continue to oppress, right? So in order for this chick to qualify for food stamps, for housing, for whatever, if she has children, she has to put those kids' fathers on child support in order to receive the public assistance, which is shady as hell. And it's all to stay, it's packed against, the community. But I would say if the man is doing his part, then let that man do his part. And if you know that means that if he's giving you that 20% and you know that that's the 20%, don't put him on paper. Just don't. It's like it's bad or whatever. And I just recently had a conversation with my son's father about taking him off of child support. It's not good for our community at all. It's not.
All right, next one is dating while going through a divorce a bad thing? I see it two ways. Didn't give me the two ways. Just let me hear what you think.
For me, I would be skeptical about dating a man that's married, going through a divorce, because at the end of the day, is he really gonna leave?
Finish through the divorce,
right?
Through the divorce.
Or am I just a rebound chick and they're going through the motions, and then they're going to get back together. And now I've involved and invested my time and emotions just to get shaded or just to get thrown or kicked to the curb whenever they get back on good terms.
I have two answers for that. If someone's going through a divorce, is it a good thing to be messing with them while they're going through a divorce? One of my answers is, I think it's okay if you know that individual is really gonna
leave.
Finish the divorce.
Right.
The second thing is, when they're going through a divorce, if they playing games with you, now you're getting yourself involved into crime of passion. Mm-hmm. Meaning that wife can say she historical, distraught, she's hurt, and end up hurting you.
Right.
And most likely 9 times out of 10 will beat the case.
Right.
Because she's gonna be able to prove that he kept coming over here getting some ass. He kept calling me.
Right.
Look at the text messages.
Right.
He never had no intentions on leaving.
Right.
So
and
now you gone. You gone.
Right.
And that husband may get back together.
Right.
Or after she done killed your ass, he really decided to leave her, but he's not going to be with you.
Right.
Because you gone.
It's a deadly game. But on the flip side of that, let's look on a positive. If a guy or a woman is in a marriage and it's over, they're getting a divorce, they should be moving on with their lives and should be entitled to do so. So, why should they be restricted to not dating until the divorce is final? Because you have some vindictive people who will drag a divorce out for a long time. And that's really unfair, because that person should be entitled to date and move on. So, it's like I don't know.
All right. How do you handle a man who always think you cheating but has no proof at all?
I think you cheating.
That's what you're going to say?
Yeah, you always accusing me of some stuff. You must be guilty of some stuff. So what you want to do? And if you insecure like that and you really not doing nothing, you just got them insecure issues, you carrying that baggage into our relationship, I'm not going to be with you, boo. Because you got them women tendencies with them insecurities and shit. Check yourself. Get your life.
All right.
And then come holler at me.
Men say they cheat because after marriage, the sex decreases. What's your thoughts? And we just talked about that on one of the shows. We did talk about it.
And it does. It does. The expectations that, women don't understand that when you want a man to marry you and you want him to solely be for you, so you want him to be faithful only to you and sleep with only you, this man may get hard 5 times a day and want to go hard 5 times a day. Are you capable of upholding your duties as the woman of the house and still satisfying him 5 and 6 times a day every time he get it up or whatever? Y'all lying if you saying you going hard 5 times a day. You lying, girl, because you still got to take care of the house. You still got to take care of the kids.
That's
you still
what you said.
You tired. You tired, boss. So stop lying, boss. And this man can't do it. You can't live up to those expectations, especially if he got that Bama cram. If y'all don't know what Bama cram is, he's strong and he's gone. Okay. You're not doing it 5 times a day. Stop lying. So stop putting them unrealistic expectations out here on these men and just be like, okay, but you want it every day, all day, 5 times a day. I ain't gonna be able to do that. But I get you two good shots.
This is the last one. Even if this is a question to some and how you deal with it, even if I were having problems in my marriage or relationship, nobody would ever know, because I don't go to social media with my problems. Agree or disagree?
Hell no, I ain't going to. So I ain't telling you people about my damn problems, especially in my household. And then all the dumbest shit I've seen ever. I watched this chick, her and her husband or whatever he is to her. He was out here messing with this other chick, must have left her or something. I don't know. For 2 whole 3-4 weeks, months, whatever, she on there. Yeah, I'm over it. I moved on, and you can't this and that. Ooh. Next thing you know, look up. And she done made herself look like a damn fool. I never said anything about it. I just looked at it. Some people commented. She put a picture of her and him on her page, like, we still together, even though I go through this. why do you bring your business to social media? What the hell do you want the people of social medias to do?
I guess take their side. But you know what?
Them people don't give a damn about you. They just messy as hell and just want to know what you got going on in your misery, in your household, whatever. Nobody don't really give a damn about you. So whatever you put out in the atmosphere, whatever you put out on social media is just for those people's entertainment. And you look like the damn fool.
Well, you know what? This is one thing, and I never had a chance to ever tell you this, and we may have said it in a little small conversation, but I always tell my friends, my close friends and my family, I can't tell you about nobody else except for me.
Right.
And I remember when I was going through a situation and one of my significant others tried to put everything on social media to blast me. And I ain't know nothing about it.
Oh, I wouldn't.
But I got a phone call. Well, one of our relatives got a phone call that morning telling her, Miss Mina, that diva was telling her what was going on. And a lot of things about family doing for you behind closed doors.
You never know.
And the thing that I got out of the whole thing was when the communication came between these two individuals, the only thing was said was, you need to take it down. And I'm telling you, you need to take it down for your, what you said, for your best, for your well-being. I think it's best in your well-being if you take it down.
And it'll be in her best interest.
Yeah, best interest. See, you always give me the good words that I'll be missing. And guess what? It was taken down.
Hell yeah.
Now, with that being said, I'm going to close.
Oh, before we go there,
go ahead.
When we asked what would be the pettiest thing that we'll take out
of
the house.
You got some?
Somebody said, I'm taking all the pots and the pans and the silverware. You gonna be hungry, that motherfucker.
You got to go buy some frozen.
Boy, you petty as hell, boy. You say you ain't cooking nothing. I bet you won't cook nothing.
Hey, I'm taking the makeup and the cooking.
You said the pots, the pans, and the silverware. What you gonna eat with, boo? Really? Who petty as hell?
Hey, in closing, these are my closing thoughts, and I just want y'all to know this. And these census are a lot older, but I'm pretty sure they have climbed since then. More than 670,000 newlyweds in 2015 had recently entered into a marriage with someone different than their race. By comparison, in 1980, the first year for which detailed data, this is when they first started doing data. So again, that's why I said the numbers probably have climbed. The detailed data was available. About 230 newlyweds had done so since then. And we're in 2020.
230,000 since then.
And we didn't hear from our first guest just because of the environment he was in. That's the only piece of chocolate chip he had in the bowl.
You know what? Before we close, I have to say this. I know in Texas, a lot of us women say, "Oh, we want da 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 da," but speaking in regards to your demographics or your geographical area, right? I've met men in different areas, Ohio, Kansas, you know what I'm saying? And in those different areas, the men outnumber the women. So here in Texas, we are like 8-1 or 10-1 for the males.
And Louisiana is higher.
And
females to guys.
To guys, right? And so it seems like we're in more competition, but it's crazy because the males of different areas feel the same exact way because they outnumber the females. So you know what I've come to think? You're like, okay, I'm gonna start traveling. Let's
to them demographic areas.
Into them areas where they outnumbered. And the girl's gonna get out there and get a new, you know what I'm saying, in a new area code, and maybe, you know, it'll get a little bit better for us. What you think?
Hey, I love it.
Okay. Because these Texas men, I'm sick of it. I'm not finna be in competition with now another. I'm going to Ohio.
With now another.
Now another. What's the other one? I can't remember the name of it. Memphis.
Oh, Memphis?
Yeah.
Memphis Killer Key.
Yeah.
All right. You know, Memphis kind of like Atlanta. They said that about Buck.
Chi-Town, too.
Ooh,
I like me a Chi-Town boy. I had a Chi-Town boy, but I don't like him no more. But
he may be shy. He may be real shy.
No.
Oh, okay.
This boy gangster.
Oh, okay.
One of them VL boys. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
we have to
look,
move around.
that's our show. This show has been brought to you by Station Head Be Live, Facebook, as well as Instagram. And before we go, I am Zeke the 5 Foot Freak with my co-host.
Miss Mina that diva.
And we want to give some shout outs to Bench Bullion, Busy Bee, Cab Stand, Eric Hunter Movie. He's a movie producer. He's coming out with O'Shea, Element 7 Salon. You probably seen us broadcasting some of them on our show. Fortray Photography, Jacquez Chicken and Waffles, Maduro Cigar Lounge, Meek Smells That Sells. That's a Cincy product. You can find her on Facebook. National Scouting Service, NBA Kennels. We advertise them on our show tonight. Picture Perfect Photography, Tommy Napoli Personal Chef, and Eugene Productions. He's on YouTube. He's one of our guests that comes on our show. Check him out, follow him, and subscribe to his page as well.
I do forget a lot of my guests who want me to shout out their businesses. So please, if you guys want me to continue to shout out your businesses, make sure you hit me up in my DM or wherever, and just put your business name, tag your business name, and I'll remember to put you on the list so that I can shout out your business. We do support all of our entrepreneurs. We want you guys to be the best that you can be, and we want to support everyone. So just let me know, okay?
Oh, and before we go, be sure you continue to follow The Upper Room. That's with myself, Zeke the 5 Foot Freak, King Cleve, and the legend himself. And also, one of our other podcast show, Uncle Russ, Roger Russell, he's coming out with a book that's called, well, the book is already out, but I don't know where he's having it sold at. It's called Road to Recovery. If you go to his Facebook page, you can see the book on there, and he'll have details about when you can purchase that book. But outside of that, hey, we enjoy all y'all following our show. We enjoyed our guest that was on. ATL represented tonight now. We need Texas, California, all other surrounding states.
KC been represented because that's like the second or the third
Yeah,
person.
and KC. I can't forget my boy Mike. And I hope a lot of y'all got out the vote. I hope that the person that y'all voted for won in they runnings, whether it was in the Senate, the House, they still counted. The Orange Man, he's raising hell now. God bless our people. Keep a heavenly hand over everybody that's out there. And that's our show. We love y'all, and we out.
Good night.
Good night, you smitches.